started going to those events and just being confident in who you are, walking up, being strong in your demeanor and saying, "Hi, my name is Charlie. I'm a screenwriter. I just moved here. I would love to give you a take on this."
Midlife your way, that's Mature Allure.
Have Charlie T. Love the last name. Love what you do. Hey,
Yeah.
Charlie, how are you?
Hi, how are you, Sherri?
I'm good.
Good.
A little bit about yourself and what you do.
So like you said, I'm Charlie T. Savage. You can call me Charlie. My daddy usually calls me his favorite headache. I'm a New Orleans native, a Navy veteran, a screenwriter and producer here in LA. My favorite title of them all, though, is Mom. I have two little dudes, and they're amazing, the sweetest little things that you can think of. I don't know where they get the niceness from, but yeah, that's not for me. But that's my favorite title, so I spend a lot of time with them. Avid reader. I love to read. If they're gonna hide something, they're gonna hide it in a book. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Her because she calls herself annoyingly hilariously producer.
Yes, I'm annoyingly hilarious. So I founded Charlie Bit Me joint back in 20, and that's because my jokes are laughs that come with something a little extra, a little sprinkle. So I annoy the heck out of my friends and family. So the name originated from one of the very first YouTube videos that I can remember. I don't know if you remember it. It was when the brother put his finger into his little brother's mouth. And it was all fun and game until Charlie bit him. And it's kind of like, a parallel for my take on Hollywood. There's some tough messages that are hidden in our humor. And sometimes you have to hear these messages. And I like to laugh with a little laughter with my pain always eases it a little bit. So, and I tell a lot of dad jokes and people don't like that.
Producer and a screen.
Yes, I
How
Okay.
You're on the front lines, basically.
am. It's really tough. Because now jobs, it seems like 500 people are applying for the same job. But the writer strike and the actor strike, very necessary. They were writing is not an easy process. It really isn't. It takes a lot of brain power. It takes a lot of time. And you only really work half the year, especially when you're working in a writer's room. So you're working half the year. So it may seem like a lot that you get paid every week, but you have to spread that out over a year. And a lot of writers weren't getting paid what they're worth. And that's not fair. And on top of that, they were trying to take away some very important things for all the creatives out here. So one was AI. They wanted to be able to take a person's likeness and never pay them again. And a lot of people I know, especially, work as backups. They work as extras. So if they scan your face and use you as an extra for The Walking Dead, so to speak, they never have to pay you again. They pay you one time and you're done. And that's not fair. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane. And just for writers, AI, as far as like ChatGPT, they wanted to take scripts and just throw an idea into ChatGPT, write me a story about a little girl going through puberty. That's not fair either. Like, you will not be able to keep your audience engaged that way. That's one, because though a computer doesn't go through real life experiences, but they were trying to put a wall up for creatives. And the strike is hard. It's really hard. It was hard. Yeah.
Do you think because sneaky, just sneaky. Do you think there are other things you have to worry about the writers and the readers, or is there some kind of like backdoor thing that they maybe didn't do? Like you say, take a likeness or somebody's idea, throw it into ChatGPT. Do you get that at all?
I know I worry because you throw 40 scripts into ChatGPT. Maybe not right now, but at some point, let's say everything that Shonda Rhimes ever written, you throw all of her work in there. Now the computer has learned how this individual writes a script. What is that going to do for that writer or that creator? So I do worry about things like that. We've moved so quickly in technology over the last decade. Anything is possible. So that does worry me. I think as a creative, we just have to find ways of making sure that we stay too unique for a machine to replace us. I tell my friends and my peers all the time, we have to find diversity, uniqueness, stories that haven't been told. And that might alleviate that ChatGPT issue, at least for a little bit longer.
The fact that you have a writer's room and there's like 15 writers. Now, do you only need 4? You know what I mean?
So that was another issue with the strike. They were trying to make creatives, writers. Most writers' rooms are 8 to 12 people. They were having some writers' rooms with 2 people, and they're having to push out the same 10 episodes as a room full of 12. So they have mandated minimums in the writers' room now because of the strike. So thank goodness for that. Yeah.
Writing process and the type of writing that you do.
Okay, so I am a writer. I'm a creative that always, when I put my name on something, it has to spotlight the Black female experience. I don't care if I'm the producer, the writer, the PA, whatever. I don't like to go into stories that don't shine light on, what I am. I was always taught to create from a place that you know, which is, I'm a Black woman in America. That's how much more do I know? And I want, the world to know stories that we don't usually hear on screen, being diverse, being unique. So as far as my writing process goes, I always start with what story haven't I seen? What story hasn't the world seen? And how can I give it to them in a unique way?
When this actually airs, Color Purple is still going to own a relevant topic. Like,
yeah. Did you get to see it? Okay.
First one. And that's super classic for me. Lines, and I get this musical. So same time, like story been told, but it's been told. You know what I mean?
Yes. Over and over. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a unique perspective. This new movie, the music, it's different. It gives younger generation a chance to enjoy it in a different light. A lot of people have seen The Color Purple. They don't relate to it. I think seeing characters that they have seen before makes it easier for them to be engaged. I did like it. I did like it. I'm not gonna lie. I almost got my third card pulled because I kind of cried in a few spots, and I don't usually cry when I'm in the movie theater. And even in the first one, I didn't cry. So I was like, this perspective is different. There's a lot of things that were changed. The music was gorgeous. The creative in the piece, they have their own story. So hearing Taraji's struggles with Hollywood and then seeing her work on screen, that really pulled emotion out of me. So I think that's where they were trying to go with the press tour, where they were trying to go with this new remake of it to kind of get a new audience to see the same story in a different light. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Put this live or upload, seen it already. But it's taking me a minute too, because like I said, am I going to? Well, we'll see. Let's talk about your process as far as writing a script and then like do you have a treatment? Sell it? Do you I know you self-produce, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, how do you distribute it? How do you go about that process?
Okay, so with my time being in LA, I've seen that there's so many different directions you can go in. The big one is selling your project. Some people write a script, they network, or they dig on LinkedIn or word of mouth, as in they pitch their project and then they sell it. I don't like that process because that means you give all that creative control up. So if you wanted a Black female lead and that network says, man, to play this role, completely change your script now, that's not your script anymore. That's not the story that you originally want to tell. So I'm not fond of that process at all. And another thing, Hollywood secret here, so don't tell anybody I told you. A lot of networks will take your script, and for example, Power and Empire were on at the same time, right? 2 Black casts, 2 Black family, strong atmosphere, strong family, Black families in strong position. Now, they were on 2 different networks. One was on, network TV, one was on Stars, or cable TV, one was on network TV. So let's say Empire was brought to Stars at the same time as Power. They may have bought it and shelved it just because they don't want a show that's similar in competition. So that's another pitfall of selling your stuff. They may just shelf it and no one will ever see it. So I like to produce my own things and make my own. Yeah, it's tough. It's rough. It's corporate greed. Not gonna lie to you. So I like to produce my own stuff. I like to produce the works of other creators that think kind of on the same path as I do. Because when I do go into pitch meetings and say, this is my story, I want them to be well aware that I want to be a part of this process. Because it's a story that resonates with me somewhere. Like I said, I write from a place of what I know. So I want other people to know these things. So I write a script. I usually channel it through 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 people. So they can give me their their take on it. A lot of people shut it down. A lot of people tell me, yeah, you might want to add this. Oh, this is amazing. And then I go into because writing is rewriting. Then I go into rewriting process. Once I get somewhat of a polished script, I go into creating a lookbook or a pitch deck. And then I start leveraging my network. Your network is your network. So I start sending out emails, hey, I got this new project, telling all of my friends, hey, I got this thing that I got going on, developing an elevator pitch, because everywhere I go, I tell somebody, hey, my name is Charlie. I've got this project you would love to be interested, you might be interested in. And that's how you get those meetings. And after you do that, then you can start the process of selling your piece or selling yourself as an EP or as a showrunner. So yeah, that's pretty much the process.
Sound the idea of just selling your script. There's some people are just like, okay, I'm cool with just script, selling it. I don't care whether they make it or not. Like,
right.
Is that a way to make a living as well?
Yes, it is. It is a way of making a living. I think some creatives are like, I just want to check. And that's every job. That's every field that you go in, no matter if you're a project manager or a bus driver. Some people are very passionate about their effort in this world. And they will put all of their effort into it. And then some people are like, I just want to check. I don't care what you do with it. But there's nothing wrong with either process. Is how much effort you want to put into it. That's all that is. So you can make a living that way. I don't find a lot of writers that do that being seen on screen. They take their concept and then they make it into something else. So your name is not really attached to it. You're really just getting paid for an idea, which is cool too. You're getting whatever pays the bills. Whatever pays the bills.
Yeah. A little bit of info. How long have you been doing this?
I have been doing this since child. Okay. So I moved to LA in 20 to officially start my screenwriting career. So about 4 years. A little under 4 years now that I've been in LA. I've been writing since I was about 12. I've written a couple novels, not for me, very independent thing, very in the dark, in the closet, and it's not a thing that I enjoy. Yeah, but I would say for a good 20 years now, I've been writing something.
Because I think as writers, because I'm a writer too, but I'm not interested in screenwriting at all. Like I've taken course classes, it's like, okay, no. And then at the same time, I'm also not interested in writing books. I'm more of a copy straight, quick.
Yeah.
I will do commercials, I will do small, copy. I will write for marketing and promotion, but I get like, that's not really my cup of tea. And that's the thing I love about writing. It's so many
so broad,
different types of writers out there.
Yeah. And a lot of people, as a writer, you kind of have to be multifaceted anyway. You have to have a love for something else. So I do like writing copy because that's what pays the bills. I'm sorry. I hope you can edit that out. Everyone around here is getting sick, even my kids. So those little germ catchers have left all their germs on all of my furniture. So copywriting is another one that I like to do. I like to copyright because it's quick, it's fast, and it's feasible. As a screenwriter, you have to have a lot of patience because it could take 2, 3, 4 years before you sell one piece. So you kind of have, if you do like writing or you do love that craft, you kind of have to love a little bit of every piece of writing. So I don't like to write novels, but if it pays my rent, I'm gonna jump on that opportunity. Yeah.
It's just, I have kind of a lot of times you just have to keep going back and change and, ideas. And it's like a lot of things I write and I've come back and somebody said, oh, you did a great job a month or so ago. I'm like, did I actually write that? Wow, that is good.
Right.
They're like, totally forgotten that it happened. Can't remember putting it together.
Right.
But
it's like, it's so quick. You don't put it doesn't sit in your brain. So I get what you're saying. Like, I wrote that? Wow, I'm good. Yeah.
So you've already got a network. How did you go about putting together or having a network?
Before I moved to LA, another industry speaker, don't tell anybody I told you. I went to every movie, every TV show that I ever watched, that I ever enjoyed. And that long list of cast and crew and all that other stuff, I wrote down all their names and I went to Instagram, Twitter, whatever platform I can get. And I followed every one of them. And then I followed the people that they followed. And then I started networking before I even got here. I started understanding their writing processes and things like that, how their network. So Hillman Grad, for example, is led by Lena Waithe. I followed everybody Lena Waithe followed because she follows like 200 people. 2 billion people follow her, but 2 people she follows. So these are the important people to her. Right. So now I'm going down and saying, who's a director, who's the cinematographer, what does cinematographer mean? Because I didn't know what that means at first. I didn't know what that meant at first. And learning these different types of people in their different roles. And then figuring out, okay, these people are going to this event. Maybe I should go to this event. And so once I got here, I started going to those events and just being confident in who you are, walking up, being strong in your demeanor and saying, hi, my name is Charlie. I'm a screenwriter. I just moved here. I would love to give your take on it. I wouldn't offer them your script right away because you want to build an actual relationship with these people. So it's baby steps. Find who you like and then figure out what their writing style is. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh no.
We froze it. But you know what? That's actually an idea. The way you did it, just kind of actually making yourself eligible or about the people in the industry before you. Because a lot of times people read their credits. I am a credit reader. It's like, why do you read credit? I'm just curious. I mean, I think it's just, yeah, I'm a credit reader. So just add the list of the credits and checking people out and following that.
Yeah.
Usually a secret right there.
For me.
Let's see. What else did I want to ask about your process with and lean Black woman experience or a Black woman? Do you ever like I don't want to say genre. So like you're funny, you're hilarious, comedic, is it drama?
I think when I write, I lean toward dramedy. Like I said, I like to laugh with my pain because it's easier. The medicine's easier to go down that way. When I produce, it really depends. I recently produced this stage play called All Things Considered. It was more drama than comedy for sure, but it was telling the story of a Black woman that was progressing in an unconventional relationship with a lot of family secrets. And that's a story that needs to be told. She was actually from Jamaica, and the original screenwriter, or the original playwright, is also from Jamaica, and she's a very close friend. And it was a very interesting story that I wanted to see, and a lot of people wanted to see. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific genre, because I've written thrillers. I would never put those on screen because those are terrible. I don't know what I was writing. But it was a very interesting process. It's a very interesting process. I don't want to put myself in a box, but I do lean more towards dramedy comedy than anything else. That's where you open and please.
This is a whole side note that I'm gonna have to clip out. No, this is that you. I'm so mad at Riverside, right? Like you have no idea how much this is freeze and all kind of crazy. But anyway, so next question. So being in Florida is actually great. How has making a change? Actually, I focus this in midlife, basic 40 on up, because it's a time of life where we are making changes, whether we're moving professions or whether we're kind of out. And when I say aging professions, I mean you hit 50 or whatever, and people start, structuring the department and stuff like that. And so it puts you in a position where you start rethinking the things you want to do. How has that experience been for you on the younger side of middle? But just
kind of tough. So I did 9.5 years in the Navy, like I said. And then once I got out, I was completely confused of what I wanted to do with my life, as most people are. And I got into project management. And then I figured project management is not it. This is not me. And I just had to make that leap and say, this is what I wanted to do. It was really rough because it's a lot of things that you gotta come to terms with. And one of those things is rejection. Because one, there's always someone that has been in this a lot longer than you have. They have a lot more experience. And, the financial pitfalls, because it may take years before you sell anything, or you get into a writer's room if that's your thing, or you produce something because it costs so much. So I think it's a blessing, to be completely honest, because I've seen a lot of youngsters that come straight out of college, come to LA, and they're completely lost. They have nothing, and they have to have 17, 19 different rooms because they can't afford it out here. But as a woman on the transitioning age, I have a certain set of skills that I can be 3 different people at once. I can go work a project management job. I can do copywriting, and I can work on my own, pieces at the same time because I have all of that experience. So I don't see any negative to it, especially coming into an arena like this. You don't know when your next paycheck is coming. So I don't have roommates. I mean, I have kids, but they don't pay bills, so they don't count as roommates. They don't count. Well, other than kids,
Cute little roommates. You get all of that, I guess.
the cutest little roommates that put their fingers on my walls with pickiness. But other than they keep me company. Other than that, I don't have roommates because I can afford to pay my own bills. I can afford to live in LA without, the support of family and friends and things like that. So I see it as a positive, especially when you're in this era. Yeah.
Advice would you have someone who may be listening, who has, script closet, thinking over the years, and they want to do what you've done? What advice would you, other than you shared, what advice would you share with them?
Let's see. So definitely you want to network. So do it. And just like I said, get on the internet, find out your favorite people, read scripts, good scripts, bad scripts, scripts of things you've never seen before, never watched, because it seems like an easy process, but there's certain structures for certain genres. And it's not just words on a page. Different beats or different things that you have to hit in order for it to sound right. So read scripts and see how those work out. And I mean, not just your favorite movies, not just your favorite shows, but everything. Go on the internet and find scripts that don't work, that have never been seen on screen, so you can know what not to do. That's number 2. Number 1, absorb your favorite movies, absorb your favorite creator. Number 2 is read as many scripts as you can. Read books. They don't like suggesting writing classes because they tend to box you, and this is a creative thing. So maybe one class at the very beginning of your writing, your writing journey, so you can know the structure, but don't lean heavy on writing classes. As in, above all, you have to write. You have no idea how many screenwriters don't actually write because they're afraid. It's a fear thing. Yeah. They're like, I got this amazing idea about this puppy with wings, and they never get to the final page and never get to the credit because they're afraid. That fear stops them from finishing, or they don't have a flushed out idea. So write. It's right. Even if it's bad, write, so you can start those processes and practice and get used to writing a bad script and putting it to the side and coming back to it. So yeah, absorb, network, read, and write. Yes.
Before we go, one last question I have for you. What wish for yourself? Just like you made this, you're making your dreams come true for yourself at this point in midlife.
So I had a talk with God. God said, and he promised me a boat. So I know I'm not there. He promised me a boat. So other than the boat, I want to be able to be somebody's role model. I know that sounds a little small, but I do. I want somebody that can look up to me and say, hey, this is where I want to be. Hey, her stories have changed my life. Her stories have changed my view on the Black female experience. That's what I want. Even if I don't make a dime, please listen, Jesus, I'm just kidding. Please pay me. But even if I don't make a dime, that's my number one thing, is to into the perspective of someone who looks at us in a negative light or encourages a little girl or a little boy and let them know, you can make it. I'm from New Orleans, and when it rains and there's water that goes into the trash can, yeah, New Orleans is floating down there somewhere in the bottom of that trash can. That's where I came from. And I love my city, but that's where I came from. So I want, kids of all genders, all races, all religions, to know that you can make it to your dream. I never thought I would be here. I didn't even know how to properly read a sentence. I couldn't spell words with more than 3 syllables in them. So I didn't know I was going to be here. And I know there's some girl out there that's thinking the same exact thing. So that's what I want. That's definitely what I want.
Small at all,
Oh, thank you.
Small at all. Well, this has been amazing and awesome. It has. I mean, I've learned a lot. I remember years ago, I was like, oh, I'm going to go out to be this big producer. But yeah, no, that didn't happen. And that was not.
It still can.
So.
It still can.
Well, no. That's what I said. Sometimes I did not do it because I never did it. There was in place, everything, and then some things happen. Car accidents, all these things in the sky where you're like,
yeah,
okay, I can't do this right now. So, my path to take. And now that I'm older, I look at it like, You know what? I know where I am now, not from, but I do
Right.
admire that you're doing it. And I think
You.
it's awesome to me. So thank you
You.
for being a guest here on our podcast, a great
Thank you.
guest. If someone wants to get in touch with you, someone wants to see you've done, how do they go about doing it?
Yes. You can always find me on Instagram at Charlie, LinkedIn, same thing, or my website if you want to contact me directly at Charlie-Fin. Thank you, and thank you for having me. I know what you're doing beautifully. So if no one has told you today you're doing your thing, I'm proud of course. Wing.
Midlife your way, that's mature allure.